Governor of Tamil Nadu, Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha, Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Deputy Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, my ministerial colleagues, the three service chiefs, distinguished visitors, friends, Kalai Vanakkam, Namaskaram, a very good morning to you all. This is the 10th edition of Defense Expo. Some of you may have attended this event several times. A few may even have been attending it since its start. But for me, this is the first time at Defense Expo. I'm both delighted and overwhelmed to see such a keen gathering here in this historic region of Kanchipuram in the great state of Tamil Nadu. I'm very happy to be here in the land of the great Cholas who established India's historic links through trade and education. This is the land of our glorious maritime legacy. This is the land from where India looked east and acted east thousands of years ago. Friends, it is wonderful to see over 500 Indian companies along with over 150 foreign companies present here. More than 40 countries have sent their official delegations as well. It is an opportunity like none other, not only to discuss India's defense requirement, but also to showcase for the first time ever in such a manner India's own defense manufacturing capabilities to the world. Armed forces the world over know the importance of supply chains. But it is not just on the battlefields, but also on the factory floors of defense manufacturing enterprises that strategized decisions are made. Today, we live in an interconnected world. The efficiency of supply chain is a key factor in any manufacturing enterprise. Therefore, the strategic imperative to make in India, to make for India, and to supply to the world from India is stronger than ever before. Friends, thousands of years of history of India shows that we have never desired any one's territory. Rather than winning countries through wars, India has believed in winning hearts. This is the land from where the message of peace and universal brotherhood has gone out since Vedic times. This is the land from where the light of Buddhism spread to the world. In fact, from the time of Ashoka and even earlier, India had believed in using strength to protect the highest ideals of humanity. In modern times, more than 130,000 Indian soldiers sacrificed their lives in World War in the last century. India had no claim on territory, but Indian soldiers fought for restoring peace and upholding human values. Independent India has also sent one of the largest numbers of UN peacekeeping keepers to places all over the world. At the same time, an important responsibility of the state is to protect its own citizens. The great Indian thinker and strategist Kautilya wrote the Arthashastra more than 2,000 years ago. He said that the king or the ruler must protect his people. And he also said that peace is preferable to war. India's defense preparedness is guided by these thoughts. Our commitment to peace is just as strong as our commitment to protect our people and our territory. And for this, we are ready to take all steps required to equip our armed forces, including through the establishment of a strategically independent defense industrial complex. Friends, we are conscious that creating a defense industrial complex is far from simple. We know that a lot needs to be done, and many pieces of this puzzle need to fit together. We are also aware that the defense manufacturing sector is unique in terms of government involvement. You need the government to grant a license to manufacture. Since the government is almost the only buyer in India, you also need the government to grant an order. And you need the government even to grant permission to export. Therefore, over the last few years, we have made a humble beginning on defense manufacturing licenses, on defense offset, on defense exports, clearances, on foreign direct investment in defense manufacturing, and on reforming our defense procurement. We have taken many steps. In all these areas, our regulations, processes, and procedures have been made more industry-friendly, more transparent, more predictable, and more outcome-oriented. The defense product list of the purpose of issuing licenses has been revised, and most of the components, parts, subsystem, testing equipment, and production equipment have been removed from the list to reduce entry barriers for the industry, especially for the small and medium enterprises. Initial validity of industrial license has been increased from 3 years to 15 years, with provision to further extend it by 3 years. Offset guidelines have been made flexible by allowing changes of Indian offset partners and offset components even in contracts already signed. Foreign original equipment manufacturers are not now required to indicate the details of Indian offset partners and products at the time of signing of contracts. We have also reinstated services as an avenue of discharging offsets. The standard operating procedure for issue of export authorization has been simplified and put in public domain. The requirement of government sign and user certificate for export of parts and components and other non-sensitive military stores, sub-assemblies and subsystems has been done away with. The defense industry sector was closed to the private sector till May 2001, when it was first opened up to private sector participation by the government of Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. We have taken a step forward and revised the foreign direct investment cap of 26% to 49% through the automatic route and even up to 100% on a case-to-case basis. The defense procurement procedure has also been revised with many specific provisions for stimulating the growth of domestic defense industry. We have also denotified some items earlier made exclusively by ordnance factories so that the private sector, especially the micro, small and medium enterprises, can enter this space. For encouraging the development of micro and small enterprises in the defense sector, the public procurement policy for micro and small enterprises, which was notified in 2012, has been made mandatory from April 2015. And we have seen some encouraging initial results. In May 2014, the total number of defense increases issued stood at 215. In less than 4 years, we have issued 144 more licenses through a much more transparent and predictable process. In May 2014, the total number of defense export permission granted stood at 118 for a total value of $577 million. In less than 4 years, we have issued 794 more export permissions for a total value of over $1.3 billion. From 2007 to 2013, the targeted offset obligations were $1.24 billion, of which only $0.79 billion worth of offset were actually discharged. That is an achievement rate of only about 63%. From 2014 to 2017, the targeted offset obligations were $1.79 billion, of which $1.42 billion worth of offsets were realized. This is an achievement rate of close to 80%. Procurement from micro and small enterprises by the defense public sector undertakings and ordnance factories has gone up from about rupees 3,300 crores in 2014-15 to over rupees 4,250 crores in 2016-17. This is an increase of close to 30% and 30% in 4 years. It is heartening to note that the contribution of small and medium-scale sector to defense production has grown by 200% in the last 4 years. And they are increasingly also becoming part of the global supply chains. I am also pleased that the share of Indian vendors in the procurement orders placed through defense capital expenditure has grown up from about 50% during 2011 to 14 to over 60% during the last 3 years. I'm sure that this will improve further in the years ahead. Friends, having said that, I'm aware that we need to do a lot more, and we are committed to do so. We are committed to building a defense industrial complex that has room for everyone, public sector, private sector, as well as foreign firms. We are committed to establishing 2 defense industrial corridors, one right now here in Tamil Nadu and one in Uttar Pradesh. These defense industrial corridors will utilize the existing defense manufacturing ecosystem in these regions and further build upon it. These corridors will become the engine of economic development and growth of defense industrial base in the country. We have also established a defense investor cell to assist and hand-holding the investors involved in defense production. Friends, government support for technology, innovation, research and development is essential for defense sector. Our technology perspective and capability roadmap has been released to help the industry in planning and initiating technology development partnership and production arrangements. In recent years, we have also taken various initiatives like Make in India, Startup India, and Atal Innovation Mission to encourage innovation and entrepreneurship in the Indian commercial ecosystem. Today, we have launched the Innovation for Defense Excellence scheme. It will set up defense innovation hubs throughout the country to provide necessary incubation and infrastructure support to the startups in defense area. Private venture capital into the defense sector, especially for startups, will also be encouraged. New and emerging technologies like artificial intelligence and robotics are perhaps the most important determinants of defensive and offensive capabilities for any defense force in the future. India, with its leadership in information technology domain, would strive to use this technology this technology tilts to its advantage. Friends, the former president and a great son of Tamil Nadu and India, Bharat Ratna, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, had called upon all of us to dream, dream, and dream. Dreams transform into thoughts, and thoughts result into action. Our dream is to develop the ecosystem to foster an environment of new and creative entrepreneurship in the defense manufacturing sector. And for this, in the weeks ahead, we will undertake extensive consultations with all stakeholders, including both Indian and foreign companies, about our defense production and defense procurement policy space. I call upon all of you to actively participate in this exercise. Our aim is not just to discuss, but to draw the right lessons. Our intention is not to lecture, but to listen. Our goal is not merely to tinker, but to transform. Friends, we want to move fast, but we do not want to take shortcuts. There was a time when, like many other aspects of governance, the critical issue of defense preparedness was also hampered by policy paralysis. We have seen the damage such laziness, incompetence, or perhaps some hidden motives can cause to the nation. Not now, not anymore, never again. Issues that should have been long addressed by previous governments are being resolved now. You would have seen how the issue of providing bulletproof jackets to Indian Army soldiers was kept hanging for years. And you would have also seen that we have brought the process to a successful conclusion with a contract that will provide a boost to defense manufacturing in India. You would also recall the long-drawn process of procurement of fighter aircraft that never reached any conclusion. We have not only taken bold action to meet our immediate critical requirements, but we have also initiated a new process to procure 110 fighter aircraft. We do not want to spend 10 years in discussions without any tangible outcomes. We will work with you with a sense of mission to keep our defense forces equipped with state-of-the-art systems and to create the necessary domestic manufacturing ecosystem to achieve all this our goal. And in all our efforts to pursue efficiency and effectiveness in partnership with you, we will be guided by the highest ideals of integrity and probity. Friends, this sacred land brings to my mind the legend Thiruvalluvar, a celebrated Tamil poet and philosopher. He had said, "Tottanai turum manakkarnai madakka katnai turim ediyu." Meaning, in sandy soil, when deep you delve, you reach the springs below. The more you learn, the freer streams of wisdom flow. I am confident that Defense Expo will provide the opportunity to professionals and industry to find new meeting ground for developing military-industrial enterprises. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.